week 17 now, right? So we're in week 17, and there's still a bunch of divisions up for grabs. And two of the divisions that are up for grabs that should have probably been wrapped up this past week that are not is the Jaguars and the Chiefs divisions are still up for grabs. They failed to close it out. And first thing I want to start off with is the Jags. The Jags do not look good at all. And I think that's really surprising, especially for me when I would have pegged them as a division winner, someone who's going to be really good, be in contention for like that top 1-2 seed. In my eyes, I thought they were going to be incredibly well, especially when they ended off last season. They won the last, what was it, something crazy, like 8 of the 9 games they won or something like that. They closed out really well. Trevor Lawrence looked great. Now, Trevor Lawrence, let's not put it all on him. He's been kind of injury prone this a little bit this season. He's been kind of battling injuries, so not playing up to that top level that he could be. Doesn't mean he's overrated. Knock it off. But it really doesn't look good when they have lost 4 in a row now. Those 4 losses in a row, the Bengals, the Browns, a playoff team, the Ravens, a playoff team, and the Bucks, a playoff team. So 3 of their last 4 losses are coming on the backs of playoff teams. It really doesn't look good. Not just at losing 4 in a row, but losing those 3 of 4 to playoff teams on top of that. They have 2 wins all season against playoff teams, the Colts and the Bills. And it was Bills earlier in the season before Trevor Lawrence had his injury problems this season that caused a slide for the Jags. But it was also early in the season for the Bills before the Bills really started to kick it into high gear. And the Bills are who they are coming into the playoffs in the next couple of weeks. I wouldn't have been scared of the Bills if you asked me a couple of weeks ago just because of how they were playing. Now it is terrifying. It is scary. And the Bills are something that are becoming real. This was Trevor Lawrence's 8th game with 3+ turnovers. That is 3 more than any other player since 2021. Now, Drew, can you name the other 2 players that are close to him? So there's 2 other players that are within 3 of those games. So 3 turnovers in a game. Who are the 2 players?
Zach Wilson?
Nope. One is a trash can, and the other one is not. He's just highly turnover prone.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen's one, and the other one's the biggest trash can in the league. It's your favorite
Mac
trash can in the
Jones.
league, actually. It's Mac Jones. All right, there we go.
Mac Jones. Touchdown.
So we have Mac Jones. We have Mac Jones and Josh Allen with 5 apiece. And then we have Trevor Lawrence, who he has 8 since 2021, having 3+ turnovers in 1 single game. Now, the other thing that is really concerning for the Jags is they only had 37 rushing yards. Travis Etienne was lining it up earlier in the season and really slowed down at the end of the season. It's not a great time to slow down and have a bunch of problems. And let's not forget that the Bucks beat them, right? So the Bucks, Baker Mayfield, the other guy who should probably be in consideration for comeback player of the year, 283 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Jags both had Trevor Lawrence and Anton Harrison, their rookie tackle, left the game with injuries and are questionable for next week. If they can't go win this next week, their season is pretty much close to over. The Jags have the Panthers and the Titans, so kind of cupcakey type schedule. The Colts in their division, again, the division's still up for grabs. The Colts have the Raiders and the Texans. And, by the way, C.J. Stroud is probably going to be back this next week. The Texans, with C.J. Stroud, are going to have the Titans and the Colts. Titans and the Colts. So that's what's remaining on the schedule. Again, C.J. Stroud is back. So there is a legitimate case for potentially, you never know, for the Jags to miss the playoffs and maybe the Texans and the Colts to get in, one of those guys actually winning the division. Not a great look for them. What are your thoughts on the Jags this year overall, but especially leaving their division up for grabs when they could have closed it out this week?
He's hurt, and I don't know how to feel about the high ankle sprain. I think he came back too early. He has not looked good. I believe in the player though, so I'm willing to kind of just. Although it doesn't matter how much you believe in the player if he's hurt and he can't win you ball games. If you put him out there hurt and he couldn't pull the trigger, he couldn't win the game, and he cost you the division, he shouldn't have been playing. And I know we speak to the toughness of these players and all this other stuff, but if the guy's not ready to play, he can't be out there. There was a game 2 years ago. Was it last year? No, 2 years ago. the 49ers lost to the Rams. Jaquaski Tart dropped an interception that would have sealed the game. But Trent
Mm-hmm.
Williams was hurt. Trent said after the game, I was not good enough and I was not better than my backup today. I should not have been playing because I was not at 100%. I cost us the game. If you're not at 100%, especially when even at his best, he's turnover prone.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be playing, and I don't give you credit for going out there and toughing it out. If you go out there and tough it out this week, you throw 3 touchdowns, 300 yards, and no picks, and you win it. Good on you, bro. But how hurt high ankle sprains, man? Those put players out for weeks, 6 to 8 weeks sometimes. So how hurt is he
Yep.
really? I'd like to know.
Who just got someone else just had a high ankle sprain. I think it was a receiver.
Jalen
Someone
Waddle.
just got it. Yeah. And he's going to be his season's pretty much done right now. Obviously,
Yeah.
the regular season's done, and he'll be back sometime in the playoffs. But yeah, absolutely, that's a receiver having some issues. Obviously, a little bit more mobility is required of the receivers than the quarterbacks, but still, it's no joke to have to plant on a high ankle sprain and twist and throw the ball. It's no
Well,
laughing matter.
you don't want to be a sitting duck back there with a high ankle sprain
No,
that can't move. Look, honestly, I know he got hurt with a different injury, but look at how terrible Joe Burrow was to start the season. And then he got healthy. He came out and lit
absolutely.
us up and lit a couple other people up. And then he got hurt, which sucks because I kind of forgot about Joe Burrow thanks to Jake Browning mania. But it's just one of those things where you don't get credit for playing through an injury if you cost your team the game. If you cost
Absolutely.
your team the division, and that bottom of the AFC, it's kind of funny. I was trying to figure out if there was a scenario for the Raiders earlier, just because I want them to get really, really close and then not get in because that makes me happy inside. Um, so the bottom of the AFC over there is it's really up for grabs. The thing that I like about that is it makes for compelling football watching the next
Yeah,
couple of weeks.
absolutely.
Too often these things are wrapped up by week 14 or week 15 and the end of the week games don't matter, but there's nothing more compelling than week 17, and whichever one of these teams wins goes into the playoffs, and hopefully
Hmm.
Brandon Staley doesn't ruin it for both teams when all they have to do is tie. But it's compelling, it makes for good content, and it's what we want to watch. We don't want to watch a week 17. I don't want to watch Cooper Rush versus whoever. And I don't want to watch Marcus Mariota versus whoever. Like, I want to see compelling football. So
Yeah.
if they have to lose this week for it to happen, I'm in because, um, you know, compelling football, and the looks like the Broncos have bowed out. So there's some stuff down there at the bottom of the AFC that's compelling, and that's what we
Yeah.
want to watch as football fans.
Yeah, absolutely. And then on the other side of that, still in the AFC, is NFL poster boy Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs leave their division up for grabs still. Obviously, you just said that the Broncos, unfortunately, are bowing out on that one. But the Raiders dealt Patrick Mahomes his first career division loss in the months of November or December. So he had never lost to a division opponent in November or December, and this was his very first one. Unfortunate to happen to the worst team in the league, holding them to just 4.2 yards per play, forcing 2 turnovers, with each of those turnovers turning into a touchdown. The Raiders, Aiden O'Connell, did not complete a single pass in the final 3 quarters of the game. A single pass in the final 3 quarters of the game, and they still hung out for the win. The Raiders are still alive for the AFC West, and technically so is Denver. Denver has like a 6% chance or something like that, something really small. The Raiders have the Colts and the Broncos left, with the Broncos potentially bowing out. Probably doesn't matter with them, but the Colts a tough conference opponent that they have to play. Denver having the Chargers and the Raiders, but again, they might just be out of it at this point, just kind of trying to save face and save some money for next year because of Russell Wilson, which I do want to talk about. And then the Chiefs have the Bengals and the Chargers. So good chance they could just wrap it up this week unless Jake Browning goes out there and represents for
Folsom
Folsom
High School,
and
baby.
and lights it up.